Beautiful people. Dr. Eve here. Hope all is well. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another vlog. Whoo, you guys. I am sitting in the greenhouse today and I am coming to you to have a conversation about greenhouse gardening in frigid temps. Y'all, it has to be below 20 out here. It is so cold. And I'm out here because I was just getting ready to go get some frost claw for some of my winter crops because they are really struggling in these temperatures, and I don't want them to die. So I'm going to do whatever I can to keep them going and thriving. But it is indeed very, very cold. And I don't believe that many of the crops in this greenhouse would have survived if I had not had this covering because point blank period, it is cold outside, y'all. It's cold. It's abnormally cold. And it's not even winter. Winter is December 21st. So January and February, I don't know what's about to happen, but baby, it's cold out here, okay? But I do want to give you some insight on, talk to you just a little bit also about, are you eating what you are growing? And are you growing what you need to grow? And I say that with great care this afternoon, because I had a hypertensive episode recently and it scared me beyond scare, okay? And and I'm learning a lot through research because, okay, if this is something that people, if they live long enough, will uh, come across, because I'm not
Mhm.
inheriting anything, but come across because of aging, then what do we do about it, right? What do we do about it? And what can I share with you about my own journey? So that's what we're going to talk about today, because it's very, very important. A lot of people, particularly those of African American descent, are struggling with hypertensive disorders. And that's simply how your blood is flowing to and from and throughout your body, right? And so I want to talk a little bit about that because I want to know, are you growing what you need to grow in order to combat, or in order to have what you need to incorporate in your
Mhm.
diet to combat any onset of hypertensive disorders? We can grow a lot of things, but are they what we need in this season in our lives to really address the these sicknesses and things and illnesses, or things that try to creep up on us? Are we really doing that, right? And so we're not going to just be out here growing food and not really addressing the onset of chronic illnesses or the avoidance thereof, because that is, to me, more significant than ever. And over this last probably 15, 10 days, I've been struggling. I had an episode that took me to the hospital. 227 over 96. That's stroke numbers. And I'm like, where did that come from? And why now? So I have a pressure cuff at home. That's why I knew my numbers. But I had no idea. I have no idea when it started, where it came from, what may be causing it, and now how do I combat it? Because I got my war clothes on, okay? Because what we not going to do is be over here growing food, not eating healthy, and not addressing the onset of chronic illnesses. That is not what we're here to do. We're not going to teach you to grow food and not eat healthy. We're not going to teach you to grow food and not grow what you need to combat the illnesses that you're experiencing, right? So I'm here in the greenhouse And here's what I'm learning. I'm learning that there is one particular um, chemistry of the body or chemical enzyme, whatever y'all want to call it, that we need to have. There's one that's really important, and it's magnesium. Magnesium is critical to the heart function, liver, all these things. And a lot of times when we have the onset of these conditions, what what we begin to realize if we study to show ourselves approved is that we are magnesium deficient. And sometimes it is induced by the very drugs that we are given to combat illness. Isn't that something? They give you drugs to combat something, and that same drug causes you depletes the very uh, enzyme or omega, I don't know what they calling it, that you need in your body. I will know the language after a while. I am a social scientist. I am a PhD. I love research. And what we not going to do over here is keep dealing with chronic illness without knowing how we got there and how do we combat it. We not going to grow food and not combat and not grow the right foods, right? So there are 10 top foods that I've learned that are necessary to lower hypertension, right? And I don't know if I'll be able to call them all off by memory, but I'm going to try, okay? There is hibiscus, which y'all know I grow in plentiful, but I had no idea that hibiscus was a was one of those teas that combat hypertension, right? Then you have beets, right? If you don't grow beets, you need to grow beets. I am struggling growing beets, but I am going to work on growing the beet greens because you can still do beet microgreens, right? So I'm going to work on that to see if I can do those. And I'm going to plant some more beets to see if I can get them to grow. I'm not going to stop till I win over here, okay? Another thing that you can take, and let me see, get my phone out because I really want to make sure that I give it to the person who really needs this information because we're going to heal together because we're not dying out here when we don't have to, right? We're going to deal with these illnesses. So, like I said, I'm in this cold greenhouse right now. The sun is shining over here, and that's cool. It's still not warm enough for me, but I gotta give you this information, okay? Um, Let me see. Let me get this picture so I make sure I got it. Hold on. Another thing is oats. Oats. Lots of oats. Okay. They are also very, very good for the body. Black beans is another one that's really good for to reduce hypertensive uh, situations. Uh, let's see what we got here. Let me go through all these pictures. I want to make sure I got it right. Oh, because I'm telling you, I have been stoked by this. I'm like, this is not my portion, and it's not what God said about me, and it ain't gonna be my portion. So, um, but another one was cilantro. Okay, do you grow cilantro? If you're not growing cilantro, then you should be growing cilantro. And you struggle with hypertension, you should be growing cilantro. Okay. Cilantro can also be made into a tincture. You can make a tincture out of it with vegetable glycerin, and or if you want it to be even more potent than that, then baby, then do you some 80 proof alcohol. Okay. But we need to have the medicine that's going to combat what is going on in our bodies. Another thing is another vegetable is arugula. Arugula is a giant is it I mean it helps to reduce butternut lettuce. If you're going to grow lettuce, let it be arugula and butternut because those are the ones that are on the list for combating hypertension. All right? We talked about black beans. We talked about navy beans. We also talked about, there was a number one though that we talked about hibiscus. We talked about all of these things. So I'm going to be coming back later to share that list with you. And I'm going to be sharing the research. If you are here and you really want to get down with growing food to combat illness, then join my community. So that click and like and join the community where I will be sharing research with you, research links with you, so we can do our own research on how to combat illness. Listen, things aren't going to change much more. They'll probably get a whole lot worse in this world. But if we build our arsenal now, if we begin to think about how to sustain in the midst of chaos, then we will fare better as we get better, get well, and do better for not just for us, but our families and our neighbors. Again, I am in the greenhouse. This is a small greenhouse. I have food all around me, but the food outside is really frozen. So I'm headed to get some coverings, some frost cloth, and whatever I can to save my crops. But I want you to know that we can heal our bodies. We can. And we can come back from what looks like pure death to heal our bodies. Because sometimes it means flushing your entire body out. Sometimes it means going on a fast. Sometimes it means, just flush water fasting, dry fasting, water fasting, whatever you got to do. But what we not going to do is succumb to illness. Not when we can grow our own food, okay? Y'all see. We can grow our own food, but are you growing the right food is my question, okay? So we got lettuce up in here. I'm going to show you. We got lettuce up in here, all right? I brought some of these plants in because I could put them up here on this top bar and in these baskets and let them continue to grow. I brought my towers in so that they could continue to grow because it's very, very, very cold outside. But I came in here this morning and something was on the ground. And I'm like, well, how in the world did that happen? Because these towers are very heavy and they have a lot of dirt in them. So I don't know. Maybe something was in here. I don't know. But we got butternut. This is butternut. If you don't have This is butternut actually. If you don't have butternut if you don't have it growing, you need to be growing it. It's important. It's good for hypertension. Red lettuce is also good for that. All of these green leafy vegetables all around me, they're still frozen, y'all. They are cold. They are so cold. And my goal is to see how I can cover them up so that they can survive in here because I don't know. I've never felt such temperatures as I feel in here today. So continue to grow, continue to ask questions, continue to come into space, continue to seek, y'all, continue to seek out help, so that we can live and not die, right? Because that's the goal is to live and not die. And we doing this on kingdom code over here because in the kingdom, he said we had what we needed. Now I know I got to clean all this mess up. I don't know what was in here, but something was. But look at that. All that beautiful, beautiful food up there. Red kale, purple kale, sage, all of it's in here. And so we gotta do what we need to do to live, right? We got some broccoli, we got some collards, we got some kale, we got a lot of food, okay? Now, like I said, something been in here. I don't know what. Got up underneath that plastic. But baby, it is still cold in here. And I'm thinking if I can find a blanket or something to go over the top of this thing, or it looks like there's ice up there actually. It looks like there's literally ice laying on top of this. And it's starting to melt, but it's really cold. So, but anyway, we still growing. We still gonna eat. And my point to you is, are you growing what is necessary to address any type of illness, chronic illness? Are you building out your arsenal? Are you taking advantage? Are you doing your research? Are you taking care of you, right? Are you taking care of you while you out here growing this food and you want to teach everybody else? But are you taking care of yourself, right? I am. I am, and I ain't need no more convincing. I don't need no more convincing about what I need to do. That my first priority is to take care of my health, right? Our first priority is to take care of ourselves. Then we can take care of others. You understand? So grow the food that you need. Grow the food that you need. And if you don't know how to do that, then we are having an interest meeting here in our community in January. Please leave a comment here, DM, go into the community. If you are subscribed, you can leave a comment in the community. You can also post in our community. So uh, leave a comment so that we can support you, provide you with the research. I am here to do that. I am a researcher, yes, PhD, and I am here to help you. I am not a medical doctor. We teach medical doctors, but I am a researcher, and the research is important to how medical doctors practice. Okay, so get inside, get inside the community. And I love the way this lettuce is growing. We got lettuce growing even in the cold. I mean, in these little pots. I put more lettuce seeds. Oh no, I pulled that up. Shoot, I might need to take that in the house because it's got a nice root on it. Look at this. I pulled it up by accident trying to pull up the daggone. Look at that. This is romaine. This is romaine. And I have a bunch of it growing in this pot, but I accidentally pulled up that root. I think I'm going to stick it back down in there and see if it will grow. See if it will oh, I pulled up a couple of them. Oh no, I'm taking these in the house. I'm taking these in the house and put them in a jar. And see if they will grow. Because stuff hydropons, you know. You can hydropon. You can hydropon, everybody. We can grow in the house, okay? We're not playing about growing what we need, all right? All right, so I have to go to Lowe's to pick up some things, and I will be back to talk with you all later. I want you to go and have the most amazing day, and whatever you do, don't let anyone get in the way on your journey to becoming who you are called to become and taking care of you. All right? Bye for now.